Hey everyone, it's Darth CJ with Midnight Launch. We're going to be reviewing our impressions here of Titanfall on the Xbox One. It's important to note that myself and Citizen Payne, we have not played this game, and Malthe has become somewhat of a surgeon with it. So we're gonna basically go through and talk about it, and we don't know much about the game, so Malthe is going to really steer us with it. So with that in mind, we're going to be bringing up a trailer here from gameplay using Twitch, which is actually you've used that already, haven't you?
Well, I've used the game DVR on the Xbox One
Okay.
to do some recordings and throw up some gameplay photos or video. So, I mean, I guess the main thing to know is that it's pretty much a pure multiplayer game. There is no single player.
Right.
There is a campaign, but the campaign is just a story interjected over top of regular multiplayer.
So there's absolutely no single player. Now I'm seeing like loadouts. So you Titan loadout and team loadout.
Yeah. So you can adjust. So you've got your pilot, which is the players. You've got your Titan, which you can bring in later. You've got multiple different weapons for both pilots and for the Titans. Different abilities, such as the Titans can do a thing called a vortex shield. It'll stop bullets, missiles, whatever coming at you, and then you can basically throw it back.
Oh, that's badass.
Enemy. Yeah, it's pretty cool in that regard.
So I see rifleman, assassin. So you got different like character attributes.
Well, those are kind of, in Call of Duty when you start out and you have those base.
Oh, like tactician, sniper, all that. Okay.
Same idea in the beginning. I mean, with very few weapons for the pilots, I think there's 10 in total. There's really not a whole lot of change in that regard. Most of your changes are going to come based off of what abilities you pick, such as there's a cloaking shield or a cloak that you can use. It doesn't work especially well against other pilots. When you see a Predator, same idea. You can still see the outline of them. They're just translucent.
I got you.
Right.
It's better used against Titans. Titans can't see cloaked pilots at all, except for their jump jets.
Right.
For when they're double jumping.
That change in the view from like your normal vision to this weird like electronic vision when you're in Titan, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's stuff like that. There's a kind of almost a sonar vision that you can use, which in Hardpoint, which is their version of domination.
Right. I mean, this is going faster than like even Halo. Like this is past Call of Duty speed.
Oh
like,
yeah.
These guys aren't stopping anywhere.
Oh no. Like you've got to keep moving.
Yeah.
You need to be vertical. Verticality is huge in this. If you actually look, there's that center tower in this particular video. If anybody else has played it, we're talking about the map Colony. There's a central tower that you can basically double jump off of each wall and climb up to the top.
Yeah.
And just start shooting down at people. Kind of useful, kind of not. It's useful very early on, but once people know you're up there, it's really easy to take you down.
So sort of like the tower on firing range.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. That guy got boned. I don't even know what all those things were.
So one of the weapons that we're seeing here, it's called the triple threat.
Okay.
And it's essentially just a grenade launcher that fires 3 grenades at a time. So that's where you start seeing a whole shitload of the grenade indicators flying everywhere when somebody's using that.
So how do you unlock a Titan?
So when you start playing, you'll see there is a counter in the bottom right-hand corner. And I believe in the beginning it's 3 minutes or so. As you kill other players, as you're killing bots, which are either going to be grunts or specters, you'll start seeing time is being taken off for killing and even just getting hits. Getting hits is like 1 second each. Shooting Titans in general will get you time off. And then once it's done, you can call in your Titan. And you'll actually see you kind of hover your sight where you want the Titan to drop. If it can drop there, it will. And you'll see it actually fall down from orbit.
Okay.
And you can watch it come all the way down, which is kind of a neat part. But of course, you're kind of sitting out there with your ass in the wind watching this Titan fall to the ground. So here you go. So here's one dropping in.
Oh, and he's jumping in it.
Yeah. The neat thing is that you can actually drop it onto other Titans if they happen to land in the spot where...
Okay, and like you ride it like a pony?
No,
like
well, it'll destroy it. Anything underneath a Titan that's dropping is done. Whether it's another Titan, pilots, grunts, specters, whatever. If you happen to be an unlucky bastard, I've had many Titans drop in on me.
That's like your airstrike thing, right?
Yeah, well, you'll generally get a warning. You'll hear from either Spyglass, which is an IMC, so going into the factions, or the militia's person telling you that there's a Titan dropping in on you.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the neat things is once your Titan is kind of destroyed, it's not really destroyed right away, it becomes doomed. So that's where you saw kind of the yellow and black bar with the red line going through it. Your Titan is still alive during that time, but once that red bar is full,
it's a
blows
bomb.
up. Kind of. So going back to the customization of the Titans, one of the things you can do is called nuclear detonation. So when your Titan is going critical, once it goes, it does a nuclear blast. Now, if you don't eject in time, you're going to be part of that nuclear blast. Okay. But to that regard, there's an ability, auto-eject. As soon as your Titan's doomed, it'll just punch you out, which is kind of nice if you're trying to do the nuclear detonation.
Now, you said this is only multiplayer, so there's no single-player methodology behind it, eh?
No single player.
I wonder if they did that back when the DRM was going to be in effect, when they had those harsh DRM standards, if that's how they designed it.
I'm not sure, because, I mean, this was made by Respawn, which is the group that came from Infinity Ward, that left after shit went down between them and I think it was Activision.
Yeah, it was.
So this has actually been in the works for a little bit now. I think these guys just know the fact that when people buy Call of Duty, 99% of them are buying it for multiplayer.
And the other 1% is playing zombies.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the ideology going in this is that...
Like, why waste any space, any memory, any development efforts on a single player when really no one's needing it?
I mean, I like single player in Call of Duty. I like it almost as a primer for playing multiplayer, so you get to know the weapons, you get to know the feel of the game.
These guys can jump quite far, right?
Oh, yeah.
Super high. It doesn't look like there's impact-based damage.
No impact, no drop damage whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
And with the bots that are in the game that both sides have, are they the ones hopping around and stuff like that, or are they just grunts that stick to the ground?
They're just grunts that stick to the ground. The Spectres you will see will jump. They'll jump multi-story buildings just with jump packs, but they don't run around the same way that pilots do. So pilots being the players. Yeah, they're pretty much just cannon fodder, really. They're there to help you.
Oh, see, there he is doing the rodeo thing.
Yeah, so there you go. He just jumped on, ripped off that panel.
So rodeo is when you jump on. Does it automatically go? So when you jump on a Titan and you start, you do something, you pull out wires. Does it automatically, once you get on him, put you in that position, or do you have to?
Yeah, you'll see if it comes up at this point at all. You'll see the player will kind of flip around the Titan depending on where they land on it. Will automatically rip off a hatch or pull out, whatever depending on the Titan type, and then you can start going to town with your whatever weapon you have. So with the weapons, there are also anti-Titan weapons. So even if you're a pilot, you're not completely boned. You don't have to rodeo them. You can get rocket launchers, micro missiles. There is a blatant ripoff of the Spartan laser, blatant ripoff. I actually like it mostly because you can use it while you're rodeoing a Titan.
Oh, nice.
Since there's no blowback from it. You use anything else on the back of a Titan and
you fall off.
And you'll die. Or kill yourself. Yeah. So just at the very end here, you see. So that's the dropship that came in. At the very end. So at the very end of every match, regardless of what you're playing, if you lose, you have to get to an evac point as a dropship's going to come in and try and get you out. The other team is going to be trying to hunt you the entire time, and even to that end, they can still destroy the dropship at the very end too with you in it. There's been a number of times where I've gotten to the dropship, I'm sitting waiting for it to take off, and all of a sudden, boom.
So what's the benefit of getting to the dropship?
Just extra points at the end.
And
burn cards as well.
Okay.
Which the evac, so the evac doesn't decide the match. The match was already decided by the time the evac happens, and the losing team is the one that has to get the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice segue. Instead of the match just ending,
right?
Out of the blue, kind of like Call of Duty, where, you got to 200 points, okay, game's over. It's this nice kind of transition to, oh shit, we just lost. Now we got to get the fuck out of Dodge.
It's like similar to Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, where at the end you have to be on the landing zone.
Yeah.
And then those stupid creatures would go. What was that one? And I know we're derailing this, but what was that one, the awful one in the multiplayer in the horde mode, where it was like, was a widow or a weeper? The witch? Oh, it was a witch.
Wait, no, witch?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about it another time. I was just curious. Yeah. The ones that are like, they come over, they shoot lightning at you, and you're basically dead. Like, you turn a corner and you see them.
Oh, yeah, I kind of remember what you're talking about.
Because
it's been so long since I played it.
The more I'm watching it, the more graphically Titanfall appears to be similar to Mass Effect.
Yeah, a little bit.
Gameplay-wise, it seems to be like Call of Duty on, cocaine. Like, it's just...
Like Halo Dash in there as well. Like, it has that kind of more hopping around, but more verticality than Halo.
Yeah, the way that it's been described by a lot of people was Call of Duty meets Tribes meets MechWarrior, and MechWarrior just more for the aesthetics of the Titans than anything, because they don't act anywhere near the same. The one kind of neat thing I did like with the Titans is you can feel a bit of mass with them. So if you're running in them, you can jog in them. But if you come around a corner, you'll actually see yourself kind of
like the inertia?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
There's inertia in it, so it kind of carries you around a little bit, which is neat.
Some poor designer, like, that was their entire role, right? Like, physics of the Titan running around a corner.
Yeah.
And you just made their life. Because they're like, oh, someone acknowledged it.
Yeah.
So, where are we here? What level is this?
It's apparently the banana level.
Yeah.
It's some in between. So you can kind of see in the background there's the cloak frag grenade. This is all just the customization for this particular pilot.
Yeah, so is it similar, like you get 2 weapons?
Well, you actually get 3. So you get your primary weapon, you get a sidearm, and you get a anti-Titan weapon. I mean, so like I said, there's about 10 primary weapons divided between assault rifles, sniper rifles, shotguns, and SMGs. There are 3 sidearms, which basically come down to an auto pistol, a regular pistol, and then a heavy pistol.
Okay.
And then your anti-Titan weapons, I think we said before, there's the Spartan laser ripoff, there's a regular kind of rocket launcher, there's unguided micro missiles, and then there's a magnetic grenade launcher. And so that is it. Like, those are your weapons. Whether they're going to put more in later on, not really sure.
I sort of like that. I mean, I always hated that some guys would cap out their prestige or not prestige again and sit there with like the highest weapons. So.
Well, yeah, and I mean, so there is prestiging in this as well. It's called generations. So
Gen 1, but you still have all the guns, right?
No.
No?
No, you start clean over again. It's kind of back to the more traditional Call of Duty, not this most recent Ghost or Black Ops 2. So it is pure start over. The only benefit to genning, as it's called, is next time around, you just gain your experience faster. So you don't get anything extra. That's it. So
other than the prestige of prestige.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't get shit anything from.
Yeah, people like us were
masochistic move to like
pretty much
all your progress just for like a little acknowledgement.
Well, but you know what? But I always looked at it as it's extending the gameplay, right?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because in Call of Duty, like, yeah, you can get to level 50 and then never prestige. But like, what's the point? Like, I always like having goals that I'm working towards. And actually, to that point, they actually throw in, you have to complete challenges to reach out.
I've seen those, so.
Which is interesting. So you have to get a certain amount of kills with certain weapons, both pilot and Titan weapons. Now, that's kind of good and bad, because some of the weapons are kind of shitty.
So, what happens if you don't complete these challenges?
You just can't regen. You just can't get to the next generation level.
Oh, okay. You can't prestige.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you said regen, I'm like, so I have to like go around as a ghost before I spawn again?
Yeah, sorry.
That's the whole generations theme they have. This prestige structure.
Yeah, the whole idea is that like when you're ready to prestige, it's like, oh, the war has been long and your mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. We can rebuild your body, but you'll lose all.
Did that guy just shoot down a Titan? Oh,
no, he dropped one in.
Yeah, that's it.
That'd be awesome if you could shoot them before they land.
No, they come in too fast, and especially there's one pilot ability called a warp fall transmitter, and it'll drop the Titan in about 3 seconds, I think, whereas the other ones takes about 8 by the time you call it. So saw a flash there. That's a Titan going nuclear.
All right, so there's a blast radius when the Titan goes out.
Yeah, and then to that effect, there's a burn card that you can get that actually increases the area.
Yeah,
It was really good early on to use it. Yeah, exactly. It was really good early on, but lots of people have figured out, when you see that bright flash of light, get the hell away.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, so
trying to add that dimension of strategy too.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's one of these things that it's going to go back and forth between people using nuclear detonation and people not. Right now, not a lot of people are using it because people know enough to back away. I think it's one of these things that eventually it's going to get to the point where people start forgetting about it.
Right.
So here you go. So this guy's gone doomed.
So he has X amount of time left.
Yeah, so that one that's weird. He didn't eject, but he just jumped out. But yeah, so his Titan's now done, so the timer resets. And it's starting to build it again.
So, I guess my question off of that would be, if you die, does more time get added on to your timer?
No.
Okay.
No, constant countdown. Time is only taken off for when you get kills.
Okay. So it's only a reduction in time, not addition.
Yeah, exactly. It would be kind of terrible.
I think that'd be great. It'd be like a kill streak.
Yeah, well, I suppose. So one thing that's kind of funny that I'm watching this and not a lot of people are doing is wall running. Wall running is probably the fastest way to get around in this game. I do like the dual rodeos that just went on here.
Well, that's what it seems like you need to excel in this game, is be able to have that verticality and just like hop around and, evading fire and like taking out as many as you can, right?
Yeah.
That seems to be like what the top scorers would do.
Yeah, it very much is. So the verticality is huge. You stay on the ground, you're going to get run over by a Titan.
Yeah. Or
somebody up higher is going to see you and take you down.
Yeah. So like camping or holding the position and stuff isn't going to do you much good. If you
all right, I'm sold. I'm going to go buy it today. Fuck.
It looks good.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! It's like $48 at Costco right now.
The funny thing is that there's not a lot to it. I mean, this is it. This is all there is. Compared to, say, Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever, this is very small in terms of content, but I love it.
But it's executed well. It looks like it's executed well.
Oh, yeah. The whole mention of this being multiplayer and then trying to build in story. Have we been watching the campaign mode, or is this just a multiplayer? No frills one?
Well,
there's not much talk on the bottom, so I'd say this is multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the hard part to see. What you'll see a lot of is up in the top right hand corner. That's where you'll see kind of announcements coming from, and normally you'll see whatever side you're on, the support staff will be telling you, 1 minute to Titanfall and whatnot. When you're playing the campaign mode, you do, so there's person just popped up. I'm assuming she's saying that it's X amount of time for Titanfall, or there you go, the Titan's ready.
So does the multiplayer have any of that cinematic aspect to it to make it more like a campaign, or is campaign mode just like a sequence of missions?
It kind of both. So there is a little bit of cinematic, more cinematics when the matches start for campaign mode. So you'll see your ships actually coming in. There was one where it's almost kind of like an Omaha Beach kind of thing happens. You land on this base. You see like the approach
and all this stuff and why you're getting dropped in or something like that. And then you go through a skirmish like this.
How big are the maps?
To get out.
Larger than Call of Duty. But you wouldn't know it for how fast.
How fast you run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So proportionately, it's the same size.
I would say they're larger than Call of Duty. I would say they're probably. I haven't played Battlefield 4.
No, but I'm more saying like they may be larger, but if you run faster, then that means that proportionately they're the same size.
Yeah.
Right?
So I would say proportionately, probably a little bit larger, even proportionately, but still, even then, they still feel small. Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I need a multiplayer game. I've been waiting for Watch Dogs. Yeah. If they break my heart and miss this launch, I'll just snap. But
yeah, I don't see any reason why somebody with a 1 wouldn't get this game.
Like this, and that's what Microsoft is betting on. I mean, that's they put out the Titanfall edition Xboxes where you get Titanfall for free, preloaded on it. So if you were looking at getting an Xbox One and you're just kind of waiting for price drop, this might be the time to get it.
Yeah, at least you get a bit of a breakout of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're getting $50 off essentially for just because you're getting a free game. So you're already $100 ahead over the PlayStation at that point.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Considering if you're in Canada, they just jack the price of the PS4. Yeah, $450 now. Yeah.
And the one is $499.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it seems to be the first compelling reason to own an Xbox One at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Games previously have been nice, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, the only game that was worth it thus far on the One is Assassin's Creed 4, which is arguably one of my favorite games in the last few years of how well it was executed, but, I mean, it was cross-platform, right? It was Xbox 360, I could have had it. PS3, and maybe not as good at graphics, but overall, I mean, this looks to be the first experience. I like the no damage and jumping fall.
Yeah, agreed.
It really adds a new predatory element and to your point, it really adds to the benefit of verticality because it takes away
encourages
it. Yeah, it takes away the downside.
It almost encourages you to explore the maps as well, right? You don't have to worry about, if you want to see if you can get up to this certain point, you don't have to worry about jumping and falling off.
Touche.
Yeah.
All right, so let us know your thoughts. If anyone's played it out there and has any tips or advice on this, let us know, or fire us a message on Facebook, and maybe we can get a party going on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Midnight launch, Titanfall.